welcome to Beerstories from Beerstory Brewhouse. This video is about how to build body in your beer. If you don't want to miss any videos from Beerstories, please click like and subscribe down the corner. You get the newest videos directly in the YouTube feed, you'll never miss a video again, and you'll help out the channel as well. Also follow me on Facebook and Instagram, that would make me really happy. So this video is 10 ways on how to build body in your beer. And there might be different reasons why you want to do this. In low alcohol beers, I think it's very good to try to build more body through the grain bill and other stuff. Especially near beers or alcohol-free beer. Yeah, actually tip number 10 is especially for that, or these low ABV beers about 2 to 3, maybe up to 4%. You probably know all these methods, but you might not consider them when you're building your recipe. So that's why I actually just put everything in this video. Number 1, if you want to add more body to a beer, you should add some flake grains. Flaked oats, flaked barley, and especially oats, because they have a high protein content and that will build body in your beer. So that was number 1, flake grains. Number 2, add unmalted grains. Unmalted grains are not that fermentable, so they will also leave a lot of things in your beer that aren't fermented down to alcohol. So that will make your beer more rich, thicker body, better mouthfeel. Yeah. Number 3, use more malts in general, get a higher ABV, higher original gravity. Yeah, that just builds body. And especially number 4, if you use dextrin malts, if you use car malts, chocolate malts, crystal malts and so on, they can also help you to build body. Caramunic, car pills, malts like that. Again, they contain some more complex sugars that can be fermented, and that leaves some sugar molecules in your beer that the yeast can ferment, and thereby giving you a better or a thicker body. Number 5, a huge amount of dry hop. Well, that's probably most for IPAs, so that's why it's such low on my list. It's actually a prioritized list. I would start with number 1 if I want to build body in my beer from this list. Number 6 is using lactose, milk sugar. You have to be really careful about how much sugar or milk sugar you add to a beer, because it can taste artificial. It can taste like a milkshake. Yeah, what about 100 to 200 grams and 25 liters of beer? I think you can cover the taste with the beer, so that would just help to make the beer more sweet and a thicker body. But higher than that, you are beginning to taste it even in stouts. And maybe you want to taste the milk sugar or the lactose, but if you don't, you shouldn't add that much. Number 7 is using rye in your beer. Flaked, malted, unmalted. Either way, they contain a lot of beta glucans. That's actually, you use beta glucans to thicken your jam and so on, when making jam out of berries. So this is actually it is a molecule that thickens all fluids and also beer. So be careful not to use too much. You can get a stock mash when you use this because of the beta glucans, but it's a way to build body in your beer as well. Number 8, using high mash temps. And I'm not just talking about going from 65 degrees Celsius. I'll write somewhere what that is in Fahrenheit. I'm not just talking about going from 65 to 67. You should go higher than that. Go up to 72 or something like that. You have to also consider this in your recipe, because you will get the wort won't be that fermentable, so you get a lower ABV, a higher final gravity. So you have to compensate for that in your recipe if you want a specific ABV. So yeah. Number 9, using a low attenuating yeast. That could be a yeast like Windsor Lallemand. It's a maltodextrose negative yeast. That means that it can't ferment. It's still small sugar molecules, but it can ferment some of the larger molecules from your wort. So it would also, you will also have to consider this in your recipe, because the ABV will be lower, the final gravity will be higher. So if you're shooting for a specific ABV, you have to take this in account when you're building your recipe. Yeah, now number 10, glycerin. Add glycerin to your beer and you will get a really thick beer. 3.5 milliliters per liter is what I add in non-alcohol beers, because I think they really need to build some body. If we do that in a normal beer, we get way too thick. If you have a beer about 2 to 4%, I would maybe add 2 milliliters per liter. If you have a beer higher than that, 5 to 6%, I would only add 1 milliliter glycerin per liter of beer. But be careful about this, because you can't really reverse it. So maybe pour a beer in your glass, add a little bit, and then calculate how much you need to add to your keg or your whole beer. Just to make sure, because it's really thick, but it does wonders to your beer. An alcohol-free beer suddenly just gets full-bodied and great mouthfeel. So glycerin is a really good thing, but you have to really be sure when to use it. So I guess that was it. I really want to know what you think about these tips down in the comments. Have you got any other tips? Please write to me down in the comments. Other than that, there will be 2 videos up here that YouTube wants you to see. If you have any questions in general, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram. I'll really be glad if you follow the channel, click like and subscribe and so on. Find me on Facebook and Instagram if you have any questions. Write them in the comments. Find me through beerstories.dk. If you have any comments, any questions, just write to me. Yeah, have a happy brewing out there.